Okay. So this week we start, like I said, implementing the user in business logic for user service. And if time permits us, we would look into the, what is it called? Book service. So usually this is just something I learned. I've seen people do it differently. So when implementing the user service, I usually call it user impo, which means the short form of implement. This is a class. And then here, oh, don't ask again. Here I do implement, then name of the interface it's implementing. Of course, it will force us to implement all the methods in this interface, and we are good to go. Then we want to register this as a Spring managed class. So here we have to use this at service annotation. It's a Spring, because we want Spring to handle this class. So when we are running the class, I think I explained this concept last week. When we are running the class, Spring creates an object of it and then uses it to populate it in the bin, in the Spring bin. Then there's one.
No vex, sorry. So you're saying now, because I'm really I'm coming from a C# background, so I'm trying to compare thoughts, right?
Oh,
So
okay. So,
you're saying this at service is how you do dependency injection.
no, this is not dependency injection. The next thing I wanted to do now is dependency injection.
So what is this? Please come again with this again.
So
Please.
this is this is like marking this class as a component that Spring Boot should manage for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, before now, I have not. Okay, I have actually worked with a Spring application. There's Spring Boot, right?
Okay.
So in Spring, you configure everything yourself. If you want, you are the one managing this class, so you write the configuration for managing this class. But now with Spring Boot, just this annotation tells the Spring framework, I want you to manage this guy for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
As
So say again.
Is it to manage it as what? Is it a service class?
To manage it as a service class or Spring Beam.
Okay, Spring Beam. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay. Now, so there are two ways to do injection, dependency injection. There is okay, so let's inject something, the user repository. So if we want to inject this guy, we can do it one of two ways. We can use this at AutoWired, which a lot of people don't use because it has a lot of complexity, it has a lot of issues of its own, right? So the next one is to do constructor-based injection, which is the recommended way of doing it. So you can just do our constructor public user service, yeah, do this guy. Then this is another way of injecting this. But there's a better way. Since we are using Lombok, I don't know if you joined last week, we are using Lombok, which gave us the getter and setters and everything that we are using in this class. So we can scrap this guy, make this guy final, and then just annotate here with required add constructor. This way, this is how we do most of the recent applications written with Spring Boot. This is how you will see people doing their dependency injection. And it's the same thing with the constructor. I can even comment this guy out. and build my oh, okay, it's even telling me add constructor, and it does this. So it's the same thing. Either you use this guy because we are using Lombok, that
Okay.
we, yeah, or you do it this way, right? Like make this thing this way. The only downside of using this guy is if you have 10 services, yeah, dependencies that you want to inject into this service, you have to do, or do not like do this 10 times, but you have to accommodate all of them in this place. Yeah, so since we have a Lombok that does that for us, we have a, yeah, so you just comment this guy out and then you leave this, everything looks fine.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so this is how you do dependency injection in Java.
Okay, noted.
All right, so the next one is to create a user. To create this user, there are two ways to do this. Do your normal create object of the main user class and start mapping and setting and doing all those things. I think we have, what do we have in user? Name, email, phone number. Yeah, name, email, phone number. User dot set phone number. Dot set phone number. It's still the same now, so I can just do user DTO dot get phone number. So we can do it this way, or we add another dependency called model mapper. I won't be adding that. It not because it's complex, it's not complex to set up. You can just go to their website, model mapper. I think let me see. Just type model mapper here, go to their website and copy. You can copy the dependency from here, getting started. You can copy their dependency from here and then use it to do your mapping. If we have the time, yeah, so you copy the dependency. What you basically do when you're using model mapper is you do model.map, then you pass the class, your DTO class, and then the main object class. It's a very straightforward stuff, and you just do the configuration one place and then use it every other place. So you copy this, put in your dependency injection in your pom.xml, rather, build your dependency again, and you can do the setup. You can just research on how to do this. Another option would be to also write a method that does this user mapping for you. Do we have the time? No. So you can write a method, call that method here, and do this. The thing is, the same thing we are doing here is what you're doing in that method. Then you do it and then call that method here. It makes your code cleaner. Imagine if you have 20 or 30 fields that you want to set, doing all this get, set, get, which is one thing that this guy will do for you anyways. Model mapper, it will limit the doing the, what's it called? It will limit the, what's it called? Yeah, this sets and this thing, because I've worked on a project. In fact, I left out some fields. I didn't even know. I thought I set everything. I left out some fields, and until it got to the QA now said, I created someone, said pass this information, and it did not save in the database. That's when I came back, checked all those things, and then found out that I'm not setting it. So that's another way you can do that. So generally, if you're working on a system and you want your email to be unique, number one thing you do is to do your check here. If let's say user did, okay, so you do your check here, string. I usually just get the email exists, email exists, a pause, user repository. So you call your db dot exist by email or something. Oh, find by, yeah, we can do find by email. I don't know, we'll have to go and find by email. We'll have to create that, and then you pass the user detail email. Don't get email. So what I'm basically doing here is checking the database to see that the email they are passing for me, if it already exists. If it exists, I can now do email exists, not no. I can now, maybe if I want to log something, or just since I don't think we have a log. So for log 2, I think this guy comes with SL. Yeah, the Lombok also comes with a login mechanism. You can just put this guy SL F for J. So I'll just come here and say log.info.error or .info, whatever thing that this email already exists. So we create this guy. It should be optional. It should be optional. It should be optional. Say optional. Optional. Type T, whatever type you pass to it, should optional. Yeah, let's do optional user. Anyways, so I'll come here and either wrap it with value of, yeah, everything is good now. So after this, we can safely say what? Return user repository.save. So we are saving to the database now. Then the next thing to do will be to create our user controller. Any questions so far?
Yes, I have questions.
Please.
It's back at the user repository.
Okay, go ahead.
You did optional.
Okay, so optional is a class in Java that helps you to. So what it does is also, okay, let me go back. So it's, if this thing sorry, if this thing is empty, there are two ways I can do this. I can also do optional dot, or else throw, oh shit, or this time, or else. So what it does is it throws an exception. Oh, okay, because it's not. Okay, I'll have to make this guy to optional of type user.
Okay.
And then why is it asking me to wrap it in optional again? I was thinking since this is optional, I'm not supposed to. Anyways, I don't know. So basically, what I am doing here is this. So optional checks. Optional is what an option means. It goes to the database. If there is something there, it picks it. If there is nothing there, it throws an error.
Okay.
It handles the exception and returns maybe a message that what's it called? Email not found. And if you see this guy, we need to even check. Yeah, we have to, since we are now using optional, we'll have to use a different method, because optional, I don't think is a class, it's an object like that. So instead of using if it's null, we check if it's present. If something is present, then return unwrap if check. Yeah, we can just, since we are logging, but this guy handles the error or the exception that if something happens, because we've told it, yeah, this one we just want to log something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Any other question? Okay, I believe there is no other question. So on the DB level, I say DB controller level, we always annotate any component that we want Spring Boot to manage for us. We always annotate it. with something. So for us here, there are two ways to actually do your controller. There's one called normal controller like this. This is when you are working with MVC, Spring MVC. Basically, you will now add your time. Is it time leave? Yeah, the templating engine I mentioned the other day. The time leave, you add it, you use it to render. This is when you want to render HTML file or anything. You want to couple your backend and front end together. But since we are building a REST API, there's another one called REST controller. So REST controller is what helps us to build a REST API. Then there's another this thing that this is by choice. So you want to, if you see, for people that has worked with APIs, if you see APIs, most APIs, you will see something like API/v1/ something. I don't know if anyone has seen something like that.
Yeah, I think that should be the query string, including.
Yeah, so in Java, it's called request mapping. So you basically come here. This is where you declare the base URL, so to say, or whatever thing that will start your. So you see something like API/v1/users or something like that.
Yes.
Right. Now, because we are injecting something. Okay.
It's supposed to. Okay, this is where you put the users. I thought. Okay, no, when we run it, let me see how it goes when we run it.
No, you can ask a question. So
I was expecting, since you are marking this class user controller as a REST controller, so I'm expecting this is going to do your localhost/user/.
No. So localhost is normal. This thing, whatever
I know. I'm talking about leave the localhost out, but I'm talking about, if you observe, I said localhost/user. Yes, because of this user controller, so it's going to use convention over configuration. That means the convention that, you said this is a controller, but the name is user. Is using the name before the controller.
Yeah, so I don't think I understand what you're saying though.
No worries. I will come back to it when you run it.
Okay. So then because we want to do our injection, we want to inject our service class here. So we do the required arg constructor. Okay. So why is it telling me? Oh, I did not put the arts. So first of all, we'll get the user service. Now, the entity we want to work on first of all is the create entity. So basically, there's another way, a different way of doing this, but what I'm doing for now is the basics of it. Create our public this thing, we'll call it response entity. We can do it type T. Type T means it's generic, right? Anything you pass is what you. But since we know the type we want this guy to handle, we'll call our user here, and then the name of the method creates user. No, this shouldn't be user. We have a DTO, so user DTO. But then, because we want to convert this guy, we want to convert this normal Java class into a JSON. Java has provided us something that we used to know, or tell the class that this thing that is coming, it's coming as a JSON. So there's something called request body. This my request is not requesting on. Request body. Okay. I usually call this guy request actually, so I'll just then straight up you do our there's no need for this. Let me just return this. So what it does, it returns, okay, this is the 200 code, and then we are passing our requests into the create user method, which is this guy, and we're implementing it here. It's pretty straightforward. Moment of truth. Let's see if we cooked beans. So Postman. What is set as default constructor? User controller set as default constructor. So I have to switch to my personal this thing. Wow. Okay, let's debug this guy. Why? I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me see. This we should yeah, this is going to be post mapping. I don't know if that's the reason anyways, but I just saw that I didn't do that. Then you have your create. So this is the address for this particular specific method. I don't know why, if that's what caused the error, but I just noticed I didn't do that now. Let's see. So post mapping, you know, we have three. Okay, it's not. I'll check what. So we have four distinct basic method: post, get, update, and delete. Those are the four HTTP methods. Though updates, the update is now to there's patch, there's put. You can choose anyone you want based on your use case. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm saying, that this method here, I want it to be a post method. So why is this guy giving me an issue? Did I not annotate this guy with a service? I did. So why is he giving me an issue? I am not supposed to annotate you with service now. I'm not supposed to. That one I am sure. But if you shock me, you'll see. Yeah. Variable not initialized. Do I need to initialize it again? God, I beg. Okay, let me first of all do this guy. Remove this. I don't need this. So don't need this. Okay. Let me see. Don't need to do any initialization now. Private final. Yeah. Hold on. Am I going crazy? This is a project I'm working on. So I can just check in here, space here. Controller. Okay, let's go to the business staff role. This is no, that's all now. There's nothing else here now. Just this. And there's nothing here. So why is this guy giving me issue? Or am I not getting the service annotation from the proper place. No, that's the only service. That's it now. So why is it giving me issue then?
This your spring, the spring bin. Is there not something you're supposed to do there?
Where?
You mentioned something about bin the last time.
No. This is what I have done already. That's like registering this as a bin REST controller. That's the only thing I have to do. Okay, let me use AutoWired here. I don't know what this guy is giving me issues. Let's see. With AutoWired, I don't need this.
AutoWired. It looks like it's going this time.
Sometimes my system takes time to build, most especially if you change something. Takes time, takes its precious time. Okay. Hold on. The issue is coming from user it's here. So you know what? All this extra thing I did here, gone. Let me just, what did he say? Variable cannot find symbol. Get email. Okay, you cannot find it. What is happening?
I'll check that.
It's just saying that there is no get method, which is a lie, because if I clicked here, it took me to that get method. So it's I don't know. It's just okay. Let me see. It's actually strange that I didn't throw the previous error again when I used
the AutoWired.
Yeah, that's very, very, very strange, because it's still telling me that there's no get email. That's weird. Okay, let me just close this guy and open it again. That's some weird stuff. Send project. Because whatever data is saying is now here. If I click on it, it takes me to the place. I don't know. It's acting strange.
Is there an extra annotation that you need to add?
No. This is enough. This is getter and setter is enough. This does the getter and setter, except he wants me to explicitly do the getter and setter myself, which is okay. I would check. I was thinking I did that though. I'll check if it's not using, is it code structure? If it's not using this is not it. This is not it. No, this is not what I'm looking for.
Use at getter if you are using Lombok. It's suggesting you use at getter annotation.
Yeah, but this guy covers at getter too.
The at data.
Yeah, at data covers at getter too. So I'm using this guy now. I said enable processor. So it's if as it is now, if I put at getter here,
it will complain.
If I put at getter here and at setter, it's the same thing as using. Add getter has everything, including the getter and setter. Add data has everything, including the getter and setter. Oh, let me just use it. See, that's very strange.
Data.
So it's still the same thing. The issue, I don't know what the issue is. Let me comment this guy out and see. Maybe it might be from the optional whatever, but let me just see.
Okay, so there's something you just checked now, and I'm seeing the option here. It says IntelliJ IDEA, enable annotation processing.
Yeah, I did that. I did that in the previous class because I know it usually does that nonsense. It's still not okay. What could be the cause? What? Now it's complaining about name.
Let me see. Okay,
It's complaining about.
Can you run it again?
Yeah, because I've commented this guy out. It's now
Okay.
complaining about this other guy. Let me invalidate cache. Where is it again? Invalidate cache and restart. That's very strange. Go.
It says restart your ID, build your project.
Oh, it suggested that I restart my ID. Yeah. That's why I did that invalidate cache.
Invalidating cache too and restart.
It could just be what's it called? IntelliJ being IntelliJ.
No.
Okay, it's done indexing. It starts again. Okay. It's waiting for scan to complete. Yeshua. This one is still surprising to me that it rejected the controller this thing. Very surprising. Oh, we'll see. Sorry, it's because I invalidated everything. It's still trying to build the application again. It surrounds me like a shield. Sorry, guys, I didn't know. Maybe because I've not restarted this system or shut it down in a while. I really do not know why. Still did not work. Okay. That's a problem. It's even pointing to all of them. Okay, let me. I've used the getter and setter now, so why is what is this show again? Cannot find symbol. Oh, it's there. I can literally go from this place, this gets, and come here. So why? So this is not even this guy, or this. It should be redundant, yeah. Remove redundant, yeah. So why is it telling me it sets this thing is the data alert, not ads? So why is it telling me that this guy is not working? Okay, what happened? Let me remove this guy. Do the normal getter and setter. If it works, Lombok can just be weird sometimes. This works, that will be very surprising. We'll see. Okay, so this is definitely a Lombok issue. It's now telling me to remove it here, do getter and setter. But I said you should manage it now. Where's the settings again? I said this project, on this project, you should manage this. That's what I see the enabled here. Enabled it. Okay. It's a recent, I don't know, it's a recent changes on this guy. What is it called? IntelliJ. I don't know why they are having that issue. And I didn't have this issue actually last week when I was doing going through the whole thing with you guys. I didn't have that issue last week. So I don't know why it's just surfaced now. But it's all good. That beg. Oh, everything Lombok is managing is the one that is even failing safe. Let me do at AutoWire here, Jerry. Am I using it any other place? I beg. No. Let me confirm. Sure. I am not using it any other place. Who was asking questions in the group about this guy? Someone asked a question about this in the group.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, okay. But you understood my explanation, ba?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
No, my question is stemming from I'm just trying to compare but I'm used to
your experience with other this thing.
Yes. So I'm just trying to move from the known to the unknown. That's all. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, that's a very good way to learn actually. So it's actually apparently it's Lombok that is giving us all the wahala that we'll be facing.
Well, nice.
Starts taking up the whole time, but it's good. The application has started on port 8080. So we'll go to this guy. I'll just create a request, post request, local hosts 8080 API v1, said users / create. Go to this guy, raw, JSON. We are passing 3 fields. We have, is there name? So basically, okay, name, email, and phone number. So we have name. Hope. Oh, let me use the legendary John Doe. And email was john.doe@yopmail.com, and phone number. Whatever the number is, and then we send. So why did it not persist the phone number for us? That's interesting. Anyways, it shows that it's created, but now, did I miss a spelling? This is the same spelling now. So why did it not persist the phone number? Am I not mapping it? Oh, so it's supposed to be user.co. I did user.get phone number. Okay. That's why I did not persist it anyways. But we have sent our requests and it has saved it and everything. Returned 200 OK for us. If we go to the database, my SQL workbench, we should be able to see this entry in the database. Local instance. You said use bank manager. Yeah, book manager rather than not bank manager. So see the entry, the time it was created, then the email, the name, and then of course the phone number did not persist because I wasn't mapping it properly. So I'll just do database manipulation. So it has the entry here. Apply. Finish. Yeah, so if we query it again, it should have the phone number now. Yeah, it does. Anyways, so sorry that this Lombok took our time. I really don't know what happened today. The previous class, it worked perfectly well. I don't know what happened today. But yeah, I don't know if anyone has a question. What I can do for us to finish this, I'll just do an extra class for some Tuesday next week to cover all the endpoints, at least all the endpoints for this user, everything on user. If we now have time, we would work on linking this user with the book entity that we created. But does anyone have a question?
Not from me.
Okay. I don't know who else we have in the class today. Gbemi, do you have any question?
Okay, none for now, sir.
Okay. All right. I will upload this video. Sorry that this thing took that. It took that time for me to figure it out. I wasn't expecting it because I set everything properly. But things like this happen. So I will upload the video later this evening, and then on Tuesday, instead of today being the final class, on Tuesday we'll have one more class. So I want to cover everything, all these things. Then I am also writing an article that we explain the concept of crude operations, which is CRUD, operations, not crude, CRUD operations. I'm writing the article, so hopefully by tomorrow or Monday I should be done, and then share with you guys. So by the time we come back on Tuesday, everything will be more relatable, hopefully. All right. Since there's no other questions, we are ending the class now. See you guys next week.